Need a car, need it bad, There's something better than what you had. Not sure what you want or where to go. Well, there's one place that you need to know. SVG is the place for me, where you get superior value guaranteed.
I'm Steve Van Gorder, president of SVG Chevrolet and SVG Motors, and I want to define, explain leasing, because these deals that come on television, you need to pay attention because they're not always available, and when they come out with a great lease, it's time to take action if you're looking for a new vehicle. So let's explain leasing. Where do I start? Well, I'll tell you. In my opinion, there's three reasons why a lot of people, the three main reasons that I see why people think leasing isn't right for them. Number one, the objections to lease. Number one, most people say, I never own. You never own the vehicle. Well, that's true. But those of you that are buying these vehicles and you're trading every couple, 2 or 3 years, you never own the vehicle either. Yes, you bought the vehicle, but I'll challenge you this. Don't make 3 payments on that vehicle and you'll find out real quick who owns that vehicle. Yeah, that's right. The bank owns the vehicle. Until you pay that vehicle off, the bank owns the vehicle. So owning the vehicle really isn't all that it's cracked out to be in. Number two, second reason why a lot of people talk about not wanting to lease. They drive too many miles. Well, let me speak to that. If you bought a vehicle and the typical person in Ohio drives around 15,000 miles a year. So suppose you drive 20,000 miles a year. Well, if the average Joe drives a vehicle 3 years and he does 15,000 miles a year, he brings that vehicle back with 45,000 miles when he's ready to trade it in. And then the guy that's driving 20,000 miles a year, he brings his in after 3 years and his car has 60,000 miles. So I'll ask you this, which vehicle, same year, same make, same model vehicle, which vehicle is worth more? The one with 45,000 miles or the one with 60,000 miles? Well, obviously, the one with 45,000 miles is worth more money. So when you trade a vehicle in that's got 60,000 miles, the value of that trade-in is a little bit less. Okay, so it's no different. What you need to do is plan ahead. So if you know about how many miles you're driving, you plan your lease for that. In almost every scenario, you will save thousands by leasing rather than buying. And the number 3 reason, and in my opinion, it is the biggest reason. I'll say to somebody, hey, let me show you what you can lease this vehicle for. And right away they go, no way, not me, I don't lease, and I ask them why. And then I get that look. I just don't lease. Well, but why don't you lease? And they just don't understand leasing. And that's what it is. They just don't understand. And I'm gonna guess that the vast majority of the people that don't lease, the reason why they don't is because they don't fully understand what leasing is about. And that's why I felt imperative that it was time to share with you what is leasing, why is leasing, in my opinion, the best way to own a vehicle or to drive a vehicle. I say own a vehicle, but it's the best way to drive a vehicle for the least amount of money out of your pocket.
I'm Nathan Knoxville out here at SVG Motors in Inglewood. Today I'm going to do a walk around on this beautiful 2012 Hyundai Genesis. This car is a beautiful car. It has 48,000 miles on it, and it is for a steal of a price. Now I really like this car and some of the features. One of the ones that is one of my favorites is it has a keyless entry. So I don't even ever have to take the key out of my pocket. It stays in my pocket the whole time. I can sit down. It comes with a push button start. Seat moves right back up to where I was just sitting. That's a nice little feature I enjoy. Now, the real nice part about this car I love is we have a beautiful V8 4.6 liter Hyundai Genesis motor. This thing gets up and goes. I'm telling you what, this is a fun car to drive. It grips and rips the road. Now, if I may, as you see, it's got collapsible mirrors, so as soon as I start this car up and take off, the mirrors fold out. So some of the nice features that come along with this car is not only do you have a nice navigation screen that has a backup camera included, but you have dual heated seats. You do have an air-conditioned driver's seat, and in the back you even got heated seats for the people in the back. Now this car right here is fully loaded. It just comes with all the bells and whistles. I really love it. You can see that, you know, inside this car you've got a nice black leather interior with nice tinted windows to keep the car cool. Comes with a wonderful sunroof. It's just an all-around fun car, but also very luxury. You can't find these anywhere around Dayton within 75 miles of where we're located. This car is just an amazing car and so fun to drive. So that's some of the features on the inside. I mean, I tell you what, the Bluetooth and hands-free is really nice. Now look at this trunk. This thing is huge. Well, I just want to take a seat in here for a second and show you some of the nice features we've got. This does have a wonderful display with everything at your fingertips right here. I can go to the radio, I can go back to my map. Got a great little navigation. It shows you everywhere you're going. It's got a backup camera, which is a really nice feature for some of you that need help backing up. You got a CD player that is a 6-disc CD DVD player. You also can link your Bluetooth to it, so you have the hands-free connectivity for making phone calls or receiving phone calls on the road. This is pure luxury right here. And this V8 in this thing really just gets up and goes. You also have a partition that blocks the rear window, so at night when you're driving, you're able to stop some of that bright lights from people's cars coming up behind you, which I think is really nice. So it's a nice little luxury, added privacy type thing that comes with this car. I absolutely love this thing. And, here at SVG Motors, we get the top of the line. I know price-wise on this, I think the NADA price is $20,425, and our price in line is $19,800. So we're beating the NADA price by quite a bit, several $100s. I mean, this value on this vehicle is definitely superior to anybody around. Like I said, here at SVG Motors, we're gonna give you the best deal there is possible. That's why we are who we are. We are a superior value guaranteed for you. Now this does come with the 3 years of free oil changes, 1 year of a paintless dent removal, and also a 3,000 or 90-day warranty that comes with it. Now that's all included because we want to give you a superior value guaranteed here at SVG Motors. My name's Nathan, and I got another one I want to show you here in just a second.
So I'm going to use, since I'm a Chevrolet dealer and one of my favorite vehicles is the 2015 Chevy Silverado. They are awesome and they're all over the road. You see them everywhere. Well, guess what? A 2015 Silverado, double cab, 4-wheel drive, I can see it in my mind, black with the 22-inch wheels. It's got the seat, this thing's loaded. Good looking truck. Well, guess how much that truck is? $45,000. Somewhere in that range. A 2015 loaded Silverado is about $45,000. Well, that's a big price. That's a big price. And it equates to a large monthly payment. But you know what? There's a lot of people who are driving those vehicles today, and I'm gonna give you 2 different scenarios. Let's do it. Over here, this is the Lease. And he has a $45,000 Silverado. And over here is the Buy. And he's got a $45,000 Silverado. Okay? So, which is the right way to do this? Well, what would a monthly payment be on a $45,000 vehicle? Now, rule of thumb oftentimes is $16 to $20 per thousand, depending on the term and how long you finance. But so on a monthly payment of, what would a monthly payment be to purchase that vehicle? At $20 a thousand, you're looking at somewhere between $700 and $900 a month to buy that Silverado. Big payment, but people are doing it every day. To lease that vehicle, I'm going to tell you that you could lease that vehicle for $400 to $550 a month. Depending on miles and term that you do on the lease, these are variables. This is what you're looking at to lease the vehicle and to buy the vehicle. All right, I'm going to simplify this a little bit and just break it down to its simplest term. Let's say that this individual over here is leasing the vehicle and it's $500 a month with no money down. And then this individual over here is paying $750 a month to buy that exact same Silverado. Let's see who's in a better position. Okay, this guy drives this vehicle and he pays $750 a month for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years. And depending on how he goes out, maybe even 6 years of monthly payments at $750 a month. And then this guy over here is paying 1, 2, 3 years, and he's paying $500 a month. Okay? So what's the scenario look like? Well, first of all, what does this guy what does he owe at the end of the lease? That's right. Nothing. Assuming that you bring the vehicle back with the base mileage. They allow you 15,000 miles per year. That's the standard lease. 15,000 miles a year. For many people, that's more miles than they need. Okay? So for 15,000 miles a year at the end of this lease, if you bring the vehicle back with 45,000 miles and in moderate condition where the vehicle hasn't been beaten up, you owe nothing on the vehicle. Over here, after 3 years, $750 a month after 3 years, you still have 3 more years of $750 per month. How much is that? Well, so $27,000. And here's the situation. This person has paid how much extra? He's paid an additional $250 per month. For what? For the right to say that I own that truck. Well, good for you. You also own $250 more than this guy did, okay? This guy saved $9,000. This person saved $9,000 over the course of 3 years. This guy brings the truck back with 45,000 miles. This guy brings the truck back with 45,000 miles. But yet the argument is, you know what? I've got nothing to show for it. I think you do. I think we've proven you've got plenty to show for it.
Hi, this is Scott Coopersmith here at SVG Motors, and I want to welcome and congratulate Jimmy on his new purchase. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank
Jimmy,
you very much.
He purchased a beautiful 2006 Dodge Magnum RT with a Hemi, and it's an all-wheel drive. It's a beautiful, beautiful vehicle here. Sunroof as well. So, Jimmy, this is the first time, our first experience here with SVG. You mentioned that to me.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little about your experience today? You woke up, you said, I'm buying a car. Just walk us through the
Well, it
steps.
happened to me a couple days ago. It dawned on me I needed a new vehicle. So I seen a commercial on TV last night of SVG Motors. Told my wife this morning, I said, I'm getting up and I'm going to go look at a new vehicle. We went to a couple other different places. Finally, we went to SVG, and I found what I was looking for. It was great.
Excellent, excellent. And I know you came in initially, we met, you said, Scott, here's my needs. You told me your needs. You said, I want a certain budget. I want zero money down.
Correct. I went in there this morning and told Scott that my limited was 10,000, and he's asked me some questions, and next thing I knew, this is what I'm driving home.
Yes, so
This is what I'm driving home.
what we did is we looked at his needs, We went on the computer, we looked at a few vehicles, we test drove a vehicle, and he fell in love. He loves station wagons from back in the day. What was your nickname again,
Yep,
you told me?
I was called the Wagon Master.
He was the wagon master.
I was the wagon master.
So, you know, we came out, we looked at it, and you know what? This vehicle speaks for itself. You know, the Hemi 5.7 liter V8 engine. It's got low mileage. It's blacked out on the wheels. It shines. It's a beauty. He drove it, and he had a smile on his face. I knew this was the one for him. So, would you recommend your family or friends to SVG Motors in the future?
Most certainly would.
Okay.
Most certainly would.
Well, that's really important to us, that we did earn your business today, and you had an experience unlike any that you expected today. Is that
You're correct. You're correct, Scott.
All right.
Thank you, Scott, very much, and thank you, SVG Motors.
Thank you again. We appreciate everything.
Thank you. SVG Motors.
Hey, how's it going? I'm back again. I got a beautiful new one here. This is a 2014 GMC Acadia with only 32,000 miles on it. This thing is gorgeous and it is priced to sell. Now I know some of you folks that have large families don't want the minivan, but don't want a big bulky SUV. This is the great in between. This has bucket seats in the middle with a third row seat in the back. This thing seats 7 people and it is comfortable. Again, this is a beautiful car. It's a front wheel drive, beautiful white pearl paint job. I mean, I absolutely love it. I mean, if you got a family and you need something safe and you want to fit everybody comfortably, this is the car for you. Well, now on the inside of this thing, you'll see you've got everything you could think of. You've got extra storage up here. It has a USB port. You got a nice glove box that slides back and forth right here as well. But you have added storage for your change, but then you also have a little bit of a deeper well. This thing does have a nice little touch screen. You can check out all the type of music you want. You got possibilities of XM radio. You do get 3 months of free OnStar with this vehicle as well. So that's a great little safety feature to give you a nice little peace of mind. Again, this has a Bluetooth capability, so you can drive and have your phone linked up. You don't have to worry about digging in your pocket for it. It's got the auxiliary cord, so you can play your own music as well if your phone doesn't sync. You do have heated seats up here, a tow possible package that comes with it. It's just an all-around comfortable vehicle and very fun and safe for the family. And you don't have to be the soccer mom in a minivan anymore. You can be in this beautiful Acadia. Now let me show you under the hood. So let's check out this beauty right here. Oh, well, come on there. So you got a nice 3.6 V6 engine in here. So you're gonna get out of anything that you get stuck in. Wintertime, this is a very safe vehicle. It is front wheel drive, so all the weight is on the front tires, so you're not getting stuck in the winter. I know a lot of people say they need all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. This bad boy will pull you out and then pull somebody else out. And again, this is a family vehicle, but it's also very functional for larger groups of friends and family to go on trips. So let's check out the back here, show you how roomy this is. You take a look inside, you'll see you got bucket seats in the middle, and then you got a nice third row bench in the back. You also have dual air conditioning and heat. Everybody in the back can have their own temperature and be comfortable. It does do top and floor. This is actually priced on the NADA at $25,875. We here at SVG Motors, we have this thing priced at $24,775. Now that is a steal. I mean, we're beating all the prices out there in Dayton. We are the top growing car dealership in Miami Valley right now. So not only are we beating everybody else's prices, but this vehicle, believe it or not, you're gonna get 3 years of free oil changes. That's 2 oil changes per year. And that's a synthetic blend that we're using. We also are gonna do the 1 year of paintless dent removal, which, you know, it always seems to happen. You get a new car, somebody bumps into it, you get a dent. It just drives you nuts. Well, as long as it doesn't damage the paint for that first year, doesn't matter how many times that happens, you can bring it back to us free of charge. We'll pop those dents out. You also have the 72-hour exchange policy with the 90-day to 3,000-mile warranty. Now we do all this and we give you the lowest price. Why is that? Because we're at SVG. We give you a superior value, and that's a guarantee. So come on down here and check us out. My name's Nathan, and I'd love to earn your business.
You know, you've heard of Carfax. Suppose you were in a bad car accident with this vehicle, and one that you were okay, but the vehicle suffered tremendous damage, but not enough damage to total the vehicle out. And you took it to your body shop and they got it repaired and they fixed this vehicle back to new. Well, guess what? That accident report stays with the vehicle. If you own this vehicle and that Carfax is still on that vehicle, when you go to sell it or go to trade it in, they're gonna see that. The dealer's gonna see it when you go to trade it in, or you may disclose that when you go to sell it. What do you think that's gonna do to the value? It's gonna hurt the value, because when you go to sell it, they're gonna wanna know that. Over here, at the end of the lease, it doesn't matter. As long as you got the vehicle fixed and repaired back to factory settings, the vehicle goes back and there's no damage to you. So let's talk a little bit more about what do you have at the end of this lease. There's 3 terms that I want to share with you that for a lot of people, these are lease terms, lease vocabulary that can be very difficult because people don't understand. They've never heard these terms. Number 1 term that you hear a lot of in leasing is residual. Number 2 term is acquisition fee. And another term that you hear a lot is money factor. And these are terms that are unique to leasing, okay? Residual. Now I'm gonna tell you in Steve's layman terms what these mean, okay? In my opinion, they shouldn't call it residual, they should call it trade-in. Because that's pretty much what it is. The residual is what the vehicle trade-in value will be at the end of the lease. Acquisition fee is nothing more than a loan fee. Or better said, a lease fee. Why they have to use that long term, I don't know. And then money factor is the cost of using the money, or an interest rate. Slightly different because it's figured a little differently, but very similar. And the great thing about leasing is the reason why the lease payments are always so much lower, almost always so much lower, is because the money factor is near zero. The manufacturers, whether it's Chevrolet or Ford or Nissan or whomever, they want you to lease their vehicles because they know that if you get into the lease cycle, you typically will release with that same manufacturer. Don't have to, but that's what they hope for. How do they come up with this $500 a month? Where do they come up with that $500? Well, first of all, you can negotiate on a lease just like you negotiate on a buy. You can go into the dealership, make a deal on that lease, but here's what's set in stone: the residual, or the trade-in value. Typically, on a 3-year lease, you see about 50%, okay? So the residual is 50% of MSRP, and that percentage is the same whether you buy the truck in Greenville, Ohio, or you buy it in Austin, Texas, or in Honolulu, Hawaii, because it's set by the manufacturer. Chevrolet says, all right, a 2015 double cab Chevy Silverado the residual is 50%. Well, guess what? The residual on these Silverado trucks is much higher than that. It's closer to 60%. But for the sake of simplicity, I want to explain how this leasing works. So when they say, okay, Silverado double cab truck, 50% of the MSRP. So the trade-in value, or the residual as they like to call it, is $22,500. That is your trade-in value at the end of the lease. So you drive this vehicle, and what you're doing is you're paying the difference between your discounted price down to that residual, the trade-in value, and now we're talking about a lot less money, aren't we? And that's how you're seeing these low payments at $500 a month. Now here's where it gets a little bit fun, okay? The average lease is 15,000 miles per year. But the manufacturers, they say, okay, guess what? We can lower that monthly payment if you don't drive as many miles. If you drive 12,000 miles a year, they may say, okay, the residual isn't 50%. it's 53%. And what does that do to the trade-in value? It raises it. So now it's $25,000. And what does that do to the monthly payment? Because now you're financing a smaller number because the trade-in's higher and where you're selling price is a little bit higher. So the difference is smaller. And that's how you get a lower payment. Now here's the best part about leasing. At the end of 3 years, you have some options. More options than what you had if you bought it. Remember what I said about that Carfax? You had a bad accident and they got it fixed? Well, you may not want to keep that vehicle. So at the end of the lease, you walk into the Chevrolet dealership and you say, hey Steve, love the truck, it was a beautiful truck, it protected us in a bad accident, but you know what, we don't want it. Here's it back. You can turn it in. Number 2 option, you can say, I love the truck and I don't want to give it back. I'm gonna buy it for that residual value. $22,500. I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. Can you work me up some payments on that so that I can go ahead and buy this vehicle? You can buy the truck. Number 3, you can say, love the truck, but you know what? There's a new body style out and it is kick. You know what? It is sweet, good looking truck, better gas mileage. I want that truck now. Work me up another lease. I want one just like it, but I want the new cool one with all the cool features. This one drives itself. Who knows? You may want to release. Or last, and this is my favorite, and this is what very few people do, is you can sell the truck. You heard me right. So at the end of the lease, as you approach the end of the lease, you know that you've got 3-4 payments left, and you only have to pay them $22,500. But as you're flipping through the paper, or you're looking online at what the value of 3-year-old trucks with, say, 40,000 miles, and you're seeing them all selling for $25,000, $26,000, and yet you're about to give this truck back to General Motors for $22,500? No. So what do? You put that truck in the newspaper or online, take about 40 pictures of it, and we can help you do that. And guess what? You put that thing online for $25,000, and you sell the truck, and you can pocket the difference. Yes, you can pocket the difference. So, in my humble opinion, depending on the vehicle, there are so many great leases out there. And when you see some crazy guy on television going, you could lease this for $199 a month, $299 a month, $350, whatever it is, listen up, because there are great deals coming out. And if you need a better explanation, see me. I can sit down with you one-on-one if you've got any more questions. I'm telling you, in my humble opinion, leasing is the way to go. Well, that wraps up another episode of SVG Motors Weekly. Just want to say thanks from the entire team at SVG Motors. And if you like what you saw in the episode, you can see more at SVG Motors YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel and see a bunch of cool stuff. Also at Facebook, you can like us there and get more content there. So see you next week right here, SVG Motors Weekly.